16. Exchanging the compressor. Disassembly. Remove the cover after unfastening 4 bolts fixed to the rear face. Disassembly. Unfasten 2 bolts on the rear face and remove the cover. One. Attach manifold gauge. Connect the blue hose to the low pressure and the red hose to the high pressure upon attachment of the manifold gauge. While the gas inlet of the product was welded for loading, a valve was attached since the present image is an after-service image. Two. Refrigerant discharge. Connect the yellow hose of the manifold gauge to the hose for the refrigerant collector. Then, open the valve for the manifold gauge and the valve connected to the manifold gauge in the product to discharge the refrigerant. Recollect the discharged refrigerant in the Freon gas collector. Three. Vacuum. Connect the yellow hose of the manifold gauge to the vacuum pump and check for the vacuum gauge to maintain the vacuum for about 1 hour until the vacuum gauge indicates 0. In this way, discharge all residual gases inside the product. Four. Pipe cutting. A. Cut off the discharge part using a pipe cutter. B. Cut off the low pressure part using a pipe cutter. C. Cut off the oil separator part using a pipe cutter. D. Cut off the inlet part for the oil separator of the compressor using a pipe cutter. Five. Disassemble fixing bolts for compressor. Separate the bolts fixing the compressor to the floor using a spanner or other tools. Six. Removing the compressor. Carefully spread copper pipes around the compressor sideways so as to prevent them from bending. Then separate the power supply cable and the grounding cable connected to the compressor, and carefully remove the compressor so as to prevent them from falling down. 7. Assembling the compressor. Carefully put in the compressor so as to prevent its falling down. Then fix it by tightening bolts in alignment with the floor holes. Then conduct welding after connecting the cross sections with a sleeve. 8. How to exchange the high voltage pressure switch. How to exchange the solenoid valve. A. Exchange the pressure switch. A. Unfasten and remove the bolts for the pressure switch cover. B. Detach the pressure switch by unfastening the fixing bolts inside the pressure switch. C. Exchange the pressure switch after unfastening the pipe connected to the pressure gauge using a spanner. D. Assemble in reverse order upon assembly after exchange of the pressure switch. E. The range value shall have 0.5 as the reference. F. The pressure shall be 3.2 megapascals with a pressure range of 2.8 to 3.2 megapascals. B. Exchange solenoid valve. A. Detach the solenoid valve electromagnet part using a tool. B. Unfasten the fixing bolts fixing the solenoid valve for removal from the fixture. C. Cut the capillary tube part connected to the solenoid valve and replace it. D. Upon assembly, Reduce the sleeve according to the capillary tube size using a tool after fitting the sleeve onto the solenoid valve and inserting the capillary tube by a given length. E. Block so as to prevent from sparking onto the floor using a tool after fixing the solenoid valve to the fixture by bolts, and then weld the connected part. F. Assemble the electromagnet part again. For A and B, maintain vacuum for about 10 hours after repair.